this Seattle team going against San Francisco, they're going on the road, and George Kittle, my goodness, he has been unbelievable. Yep. And we talk about his last 4 games, 7 touchdowns. Well, let's just talk about the matchup with the Seattle Seahawks. His last 2 games against the Seahawks, one was back in 2021, then earlier this year we saw that Thursday night game. 13 receptions, 274 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And that's just in 2 games, the last 2 against the Seattle Seahawks. Brock Purdy, since he's come in, he has made it a point to find his tight end and get him the ball, whether it's deep down the field or a short pass, and letting George Kittle do what he does after he has the ball in his hands. If I'm Seattle, I got to go outside the box. I got to do something I haven't done all season. They have a rookie on their team, Tariq Woolen, who has played his butt off. 6'4", 210 pounds. This guy has 6 interceptions this year and just continues to make play after play for them in the secondary. Let's see a little Woolen on George Kittle. Let's move the cornerback inside, whether it's third down, red zone, crucial downs, and let him get his shot at George Kittle. I watched a really good cornerback in Stephon Gilmore do that, covering Travis Kelce in an AFC Championship game and doing it really well. So let's go this route. Let's put Woolen on him, only in certain situations, not doing it for the entire game. We have Kobe Bryant, a rookie cornerback as well, who can bump to the outside. I want to see a little Woolen on Kittle in this game.
I'd like to see that too. And listen, if we're talking fairy tales, the fairy tale has to have a villain or like an evil entity,
I like that.
A witch or something, or push them in the oven. Like the fairy tales get really dark. I think in this case for Seahawks trying to complete this fairy tale, I think the villain is Nick Bosa. I really do. And I think there's a few players right now in the playoff field who are so good that if you know your opposing team, you look at them and you're like, we're not going to let him dominate us. I don't care if you have to have 6 people account for them. We're going to make somebody else make a play. And I would look at Kelce like that. I would look at Eckler for the Chargers, and I would look at Nick Bosa. And if I'm Seattle, I'm saying, I don't care if there's 4 guys blocking. We're going to have Samson Ebukam beat us. Nick Bosa, it's not just that he's had a great season, he's a great player. God, he messes up the Seahawks. Messes them up. This is across the board. How many quarterbacks have been hit? Look at he has 48. The next is Max Crosby, way down in the mid-30s. It's a dominant season, including 3 sacks on Geno Smith the last 2 times they played. Like, he terrorizes them. He does that thing where, like, Bosa's celebration is where he does this thing. He's always running around. Like, I don't know. We know, Nick. We know what time it is. I can't have anybody on the Seahawks coaching staff look at the game afterwards and be like, we don't know. We tried to stop him. Or they're getting pushed in the oven. Like, he can take over this game. Kittle, Debo, Purdy, Warner, all great players. Anybody but Bosa, and maybe you got a shot. That's my take.
I remember Kyle Shanahan saying he's not only the defensive player of the year, he's the MVP. Watching their game against the Raiders and thinking to myself, if he's an MVP, he's going to make a play to affect this game. He did. Pushed the tackle right into the quarterback, interception. There it was. The Seattle Seahawks, the last time they faced the 49ers, their first 3 third downs, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 18.
Oh, that's rough.
That is not how you want to start. And how do you get out of situations like that? You run the football. How did they run the football against the 49ers this year? 36 yards in the first game, 70 in the second game. Not going to happen, okay? You, especially like Pete Carroll and his identity of running the football. You got to be better than that. You got to find a way to do it. Now, how do you do it? They are really stout. Nick Bosa is not the only one up front that plays really well. Maybe you get a little help from Mother Nature. How's the forecast for Saturday? Not great. And the last time I remember the 49ers playing in windy, rainy, muddy conditions was this.
6 quarterbacks ago.
So maybe you get a little help, and now we're showing them throwing the football, of course. But
that's okay, but it's the conditions.
The point of the matter was it was the conditions. They were slip sliding all over the place.
If you have Dante Pettis highlights, Mike, you can't not show them.
Yeah, I know, exactly, especially with that shimmy celebration there. So, I don't know. You just get down and try to get on them and try to push them back and hope that they're slip sliding around a little bit. We'll see.
That's interesting.
And then maybe the 49ers will be the ones doing the slip and slide celebration. Wee! Yeah. That was the week 1 wee.
Yes, it was, the wee.
The wee. What's going on with DK Metcalf? I feel like this wide receiver is an absolute star, has the potential to be, but we don't really see a lot of these, like, unbelievable guys. Did you see what DK Metcalf did this weekend? I feel like I said that maybe once this season. He had like 150 yards, receiving yards against the Lions in that ridiculous 48-45 game, middle of the season. But after that, statistically very middle of the pack for DK Metcalf. And frankly, If someone has to be the guy, if you're going to halt Nick Bosa in his tracks on the defensive line for the 49ers, you're going to buy Geno Smith some time. I know Geno Smith is not going to have like this 60-yard bomb to DK Metcalf, but hey, you can have a 20-something completions to this guy for 165 yards, 180 yards. He's got to be the difference maker. You got to move the chains down the field. If you're going to beat the 49ers defense, you can't just let them muck up the middle, and you're going to get stopped at the defensive line. You got to get the ball up and over this defensive line. The statistically, it's just DK Metcalf. His look, his vibe, everything people know about him, and his diet and his offseason, whatever. He's a really likable guy.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be a star this weekend. He has to be a star. Find a way to just get under the skin of the 49ers defense. It is the only way.
Well, I think the way you put it that way, I like to see how DK shows up as a person on the field, because like this game's gonna be chippy, it's gonna be frosty. He'll chirp, he'll get in people's faces. We know he did it last week. So like when we're talking about Warner and Talanoa Hufanga, like I want to see him getting ready to go, and I think he will be.
He's gotten penalties doing so too. So
Well, I was gonna say, I think there's a gift to like chirping and then stopping, having the maturity to stop, and then like rising above it.